Hi, this is Aaron from My Dying Bride, and you're watching Chaos TV. Enjoy the show.
Okay, so what's up everybody? Chaos TV is today here at Seinäjoki, Finland. We have here Aaron from the band My Dying Bride as guest. So first off, hello and welcome to Chaos TV, man, for the first time.
Oh, thank you very much. It's good to be here.
So today you guys will be performing here at Seinäjoki Metal Festival. So what kind of expectations do you have towards the show, and what kind of past memories do you have when it comes to playing in Finland?
Well, we haven't been here for quite a few years, and I think the last time we were here may have been Tuska, I think. And that was really good, although we were playing in the blazing sunshine, which we didn't expect in this part of the world, but it was hotter than we thought. But it was pretty cool. But this is nice to do a club show here. We've been to the venue, it looks pretty good, and I'm hoping that because we haven't been here for such a long time, that there'll be a lot of fans here to come and show their appreciation. We're certainly going to do our best. We're planning to play for an hour and a half. We've got a lot of old songs and some mid-period songs and some of the new material. Nothing new off the new album yet, because we'd prefer to wait for that album to be released. But yeah, good spread of music from our whole back catalogue to keep everybody happy, I hope.
So how has summer generally been for you and the band?
It's been pretty good. We've done some big summer festivals and they've all been very, very positive. Some of them we've only played for an hour and we'd like to play for longer, but you know, that's just the way it is. Tonight, as I say, we've got an hour and a half. We don't do that many shows a year. We only do about 10 shows a year.
Okay.
Which means the shows that we do are very, very special for us, and special for the fans as well, because they know that we might not come back again for 5, 6, 7 years. So we try to make sure that the shows are very, very special, and we concentrate 100% on nailing each performance correctly. And that's obviously what we're going to hope to do. We'll just see how it goes. Fingers crossed it'll be great. As I say, we haven't been here for a long time, so I'm hoping we'll all have a bit of fun, if you can call My Dying Bride's music fun.
So you have a new album coming out entitled Feel the Misery, and it will be released on September 18th through Peaceville Records. So could you shortly tell us a bit about the whole recording and writing process of the album? Was it overall a typical process for you, or did it differ somehow this time around?
It differed because we had a lot of time to do this one, but we chose a lot of time to do it. We really began writing this at the end of 2013. Not 100% focused, just kind of messing around with some riffs and see what developed. Then as time goes by, you realise we've got a lot of material. We now need to construct it into songs. It's all right having 100 riffs. You've got to put them together in some kind of structure, which we then started to do as 2014 rolled on. And as we were getting towards the end of 2014, the record labels started to say, we'd like an album, and we know that you're working on an album. What about, a bit of a focus? So we said, yeah, okay, cool. We'll try and get it out at the end of 2014, but that never happened because we weren't 100% happy with some of the songs. In the past, we've never edited our songs very much. We've just gone with the feeling. This time round, we wanted to take the songs home, listen to them, decide how we could make them better, and go back and do it again. And that delayed it and delayed it and delayed it till finally we started recording actually in October 2014 and finished sometime in February 2015 with gaps for Christmas holidays and stuff like that. So we've never written an album like that with so much time to look at the songs, make sure they're perfect or as good as they can be. And it was quite nice. I'm sure the record label weren't too happy to have to wait and wait and wait, but it means we've got a better result, and we've seen some of the reviews for the album already and they've been absolutely bang on, just 100% positive. That's what we worked for.
And I guess you are now in that position also as a band that you can basically take your time to do an album. You don't have to basically rush it out every 2 years if you don't want to.
No, and that's the great thing about that is we have a record label who backs us up there as well. Peaceville Records have always allowed My Dying Bride to do anything we want. We have pure 100% artistic freedom. Even when it comes,
that's rare nowadays.
Of course it's rare. And even when it comes to release dates, Peaceville say we would like a release date around March. when it gets too late, we say, sorry, we're not going to make March. How about September? And they say, okay, September. And if we don't make September, they say, okay, maybe next March. And that's the way it works, because they know if they allow us the time and the freedom, they will get a first-class quality product.
Yeah.
If they rush us and push us, it won't be as good as it can be. So it would be detrimental to them to push us. They're so relaxed. We're just very, very lucky.
And nowadays, I guess it's pretty important for bands like to put out good album every time, because you know how the industry goes, that your band will easily get like basically forgotten if you release like a couple of basically weaker albums in a row.
Yeah. You've got to evolve all the time without losing sight of your roots and your foundations, which are the doom, gothic, death metal scene.
Yeah.
You still need to expand with every album and develop your music, but don't lose sight of who you are and what you're good at. If you expand too far and become too experimental, you will no longer be the band people thought you were.
Yeah.
But you still need to be fresh. So it's a difficult balance, but if you get it right, it can pay off. And fortunately, after 25 years, in fact, the last review I saw of the album gave us 10 out of 10. So they're very, very rare scores. And when I saw that, I thought, I think we've still got it.
You've done something right.
I think after 25 years, finally, we've done something right, yeah.
So you are actually the kind of guy who pays attention what media and like writes about your band, or do you try to avoid reading reviews and stuff like that?
I'm lucky because I never search for the reviews, but some of the other guys in the band really do.
Okay.
And they send me the good ones. And I'm sure there are average ones. You know, we're not perfect, but we've never really had bad reviews. There've been some average reviews, which is fair enough. You can't please everybody. And when there's a great review, obviously everybody talks about it in the band, and they're very excited and enthusiastic. So they email it to everybody and say, "Wow, check out this." And so it's nice to see those kinds of things. But I don't search for them. I have people to do that for me.
So, if you compare like this upcoming Feel the Misery to a map of all your failures, how would you like compare the two? Are there like some major differences between them, or are there like some certain things with the previous record that you weren't happy about that you wanted to do differently for this album?
Given time, you always want to, or you always think you could make an album better. We think Feel the Misery is perfect right now, but I bet in a year's time we'll be thinking, maybe we could have changed some things.
Yeah.
But you have to record it at some point, and once you've recorded it, it's finished. And it's the same with A Map of All Our Failures. At the time, we thought it was the best album we could do, and we loved it, and it was great, so we went to the studio, we recorded it, everybody's happy. A couple of years later, I kind of think, there's a couple of things, if we'd changed them around just a little bit, the songs would have been better.
Yeah.
But I'm sure everybody says that.
Yeah.
And the difference between the two albums now is because we didn't have the long writing process when we did A Map of All Our Failures, as we did with Feel the Misery. We almost had too much time with Feel the Misery. We were playing with the songs and playing, and you need to stop at some point and record them.
I guess that's hard for an artist, that you basically, there is that point where you just have to let it go.
Yeah, I'm sure there are some painters who will just keep adding little bits each time to their painting.
Yeah.
And their friends and mentors will say it's finished.
Yeah.
And they will say, well, is it?
Yeah.
You can go on and on and on and on. In the early days, well, and still now to some extent, our songs are very long because everybody in the band wants to contribute to the song. So the song gets bigger and bigger and bigger because we want your idea, and we want your idea, and we want my idea. The songs become very long. We've become a little bit more disciplined more recently, where we simply say, look, we're not having 4 10-minute songs on this album. It's ridiculous. I think we've got 3. But we are trying to reel it in a bit and just not have them as long as they used to be. Which fun. It was fun when we did it, but we just want to reel that in a bit now. But still want contributions from everybody. And now we've got Calvin back. We're actually probably going to go the other way and start writing long songs again because we want to hear what Calvin's bringing as well.
Yeah.
He joined a little bit too late for this album. This album was almost completely finished when Calvin rejoined. So there's very little of Calvin on this album. He's there obviously doing melodies and certain things like that. But the next recording after this will feature much more of Calvin, which means the next album is going to sound not very different to the Feel the Misery, but significantly different because it has somebody else's signature on it.
Yeah, of course. So the first single you released from the upcoming album is titled "And My Father Left Forever." So was there like a specific reason that you wanted to put out that song first from the album, or was it just like one song that you basically selected from the album to be released?
I don't know why that song was released. It's not released as a single, so there's no need to look for it. It was just put on, I think a radio station or a website requested a preview track, and I think our record label gave them that song, but a lot of people think it's going to be a single. We won't be releasing it. Okay. It's just something for people to hear, to keep them quiet till the album's released. More probably we'll do a single maybe for the song Field of Misery, because 2 weeks ago I shot a video for Field of Misery in South Wales, which was wonderful. That should be ready actually very, very soon, that video. So we're probably more likely to do it won't be a single, it will probably be an EP for the song Field of Misery. Although I'm not sure what tracks will go on it, because everything we wrote, we recorded. There are no extra bonus tracks.
Okay.
So it'd be difficult to release it as a single. What do you put on the other side?
Yeah.
So maybe a live song or a couple of live songs or something like that. But yeah, And My Father Left Forever is not a single. Field of Misery may be a single. But we'll just have to wait and see. There's no decisions yet.
So as you said, you're gonna release like an EP maybe next. So what do you think about the like whole idea of a CD in 2015? Because a lot of bands have basically changed their like way of thinking, that nowadays they're just putting out like single after single after single. So they basically have all the time like some fresh material to play in front of their fans.
We rarely do singles. I mean, we've done quite a few EPs because in the early days it was a contract to do an EP followed by an album, followed by an EP, followed by an album. Okay. And we quite like that format. Even though that is no longer in the contract, we still do EPs because we like it, and it's a little chance to experiment a little bit more, because a lot of people don't buy EPs. They buy the albums, they forget the EPs. So you can do a little bit more interesting things with EPs. So although I just said we didn't have anything else to record, to release, if we decide to do an EP for Field of Misery, we would probably go back to the studio and write something brand new for it. That might be a little bit way out there, because that is what EP territory is just for. And now, if we do that, it's probably going to come out probably next September, because we're so slow with our releases. But we'll see, that's the future, which currently is quite bright.
So what can you tell us about the lyrical side of the upcoming albums? What kind of subjects are you dealing with that one?
Well, they are similar subjects to what our fans would expect us to sing about. You know, you don't call yourself My Dying Bride and sing about pop music.
You sing about love and stuff like that.
We do sing about love and passion and desires and regrets and bitterness and grief and anger, which I guess are typical themes in the world of heavy metal. You know, a lot of bands do these kind of things. But we go for the more emotional side of lyrics. And I like that because it makes us a little bit different from what the other bands are doing. The other bands quite often do, the hacking and slashing and all the rest of it, the blood and guts and mayhem. We do the more thoughtful relationship and emotive side of writing. And I love to read and write poetry. And so the lyrics are kind of written in a poetic way to some degree. Which I think works really well with the style of music we do. There's no point shouting yeah baby, yeah on My Dying Bride's music. It's not going to work. You do something much deeper and much heavier. And I think the album cover reflects some of the content as well, because we touch upon religion in some of our lyrics as well. We're not big fans of religion. You know, it's caused a lot of trouble in the world and a lot of deaths and a lot of pain and suffering. I'm not anti-religious. I just prefer it if there was only one God. Then we all might be happier, but well,
I guess no one is happy about the ISIS stuff happening at the moment in the world.
Well, it's not just those. I mean, I grew up in the 70s when the IRA were bombing everything in Great Britain as well, and it was mayhem. And people do it all over the world. You know, it's just not as known about as some of the bigger stuff. But there's always people attacking each other because my God is better than your God, which is ridiculous.
So, as you said already, the album's artwork is a masterpiece. So how does it like reflect the album and the lyrics?
Well, we wanted a stained glass church window years and years ago with the band, and we all tried, particularly me, I tried to photograph lots of really interesting church windows because they look very dramatic.
Yeah.
When you walk into a large cathedral, when the light is shining through these windows and casting an array of colours on the floor, it looks amazing. And even though I'm not a particularly spiritual person, you imagine that people who are would see that and they would think, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. I think artistically they are very beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
And we wanted one for many, many years, but we just never could find the one we wanted. And I thought for our 25th anniversary, maybe we can try a bit harder. Instead of photographing one, let's create one ourselves. So we got Matt Vickerstaff in, who's done some of the album covers for us in the past. We told him what we wanted, and he's come up with this artwork, which it just looks great because some of these windows are massive in cathedrals, and the word epic springs to mind. And we'd like to think that some of our music is quite epic, so we wanted the stained glass window to reflect that. And we also wanted Matt to include some personal symbols which are hidden in the artwork somewhere, which are relevant to certain members of the band, but the fans won't know what these are.
Okay.
But in the future, in a few years, I guess we'll tell people, you know, what certain things on the artwork are. But for now, it's our own little secret.
Okay. So that's about it for me. So thank you, man, very much for your time, and best of luck for tonight's show as well as for the future. Anything you want to say as last words to your Finnish fans watching the interview? You can hold the microphone yourself, and that is the main camera.
Yeah, we do apologise for not playing Finland for such a long time. We've always had a great time here, so I don't know why we haven't been back. But I'm sure it won't be 8 years or however long it was since we're coming again. Tonight will be great. The Finnish fans have always been great for us. So hopefully, maybe a couple of years we'll be back. Fingers crossed. Cheers.
Thank you, man.